A very shocking and disturbing Russian roulette game may be coming to America. Watch.
New American Roulette is a game for people strong in spirit. This extreme game has several stages, and each stage has its own rules. Let's have a closer look at it.
All right, let's look also at some of these screen grabs, these images from this game. And so as you see here, they have a number of different players, and they go through a number of different rounds where they are playing Russian roulette. Obviously, there's no bullets in there, but there's like a shock and a loud noise. And they continue to play, and the winner can win up to $1 million. It's just, oh, that was Casper. Did you hear Casper? Casper, Grace's dog, is here. He's grunting. He doesn't like this game either. He does not like this game either. Thoughts, 5 words or less?
Game night at my place.
Stunningly stupid.
Most Russian game ever.
Not fired up by this.
Okay, but boy, what a rush. You know, I mean, whether or not you want...
So violent.
Yes, it's violent, it's scary, but some people, you know, go fish and playing cards is not enough, and they are looking for the next thing. They tried Jenga fell over.
So then what happens when they play this for 6 months? What, then are they going to do it with real guns?
Like,
yeah.
Oh, you're just getting a shock.
No,
I don't like
it's
it.
a game.
I don't like it. What if kids try and like emulate that at home? I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, maybe they should have the guns in a different, like a funny gun look. You know, like they look like
they
a puppet.
purposely turned it into like a real looking, scary looking revolver. And there's 6 rounds. I really looked into this, you guys. First of all, it's called American Roulette because Russian Roulette is with real weapons. So the guy who founded this saw it in a dream while he was in a coma. He's a UFC fighter. And he dreamt this in a coma. Every part about the story, including the trailer, I was just like, this is the most Russian thing that they could have done. They like paint their arms and stuff. And it's just like they have 6 people in like all holding the gun in dramatic ways. And women get shocked in the shoulder. Men get shocked in the neck.
Why were the photos on the head then?
Because they're crazy?
Because they wanted to make it look cool.
No, there was a part in there where during one of those 6 rounds or whatever, you get to write down on a piece of paper who you want to shoot.
Oh my God.
And so then the person that I guess gets the most votes to be shot at, then you circle that person and you get to point that gun wherever you want to point that gun on them, okay? Then that person gets to turn around and shoot them if they survive. So just
if they survive, they're not dying.
No, that's the terminology they use. If you listen to the video, that's the terminology they use.
It's laser tag on steroids.
It's gross. I don't like it.
I don't like it either, and especially if, so they use taser guns or tasers, right? So tasers are not illegal, they're only illegal in a handful of states across the country. I think that from what we're seeing from the images of guns to people's heads, and in America, the way things catch on, look how quick Pokemon Go caught on overnight. So if this becomes popular, what are we telling children? It's okay to play with guns. It's okay to point guns to people's heads. It's okay to bring a taser gun to school. It's just a disaster waiting to happen.
All right, so then
according to Donald Trump in the state of Washington, D.C., it's okay for toddlers to play with guns and that there shouldn't be more regulation around it. At least that's what I learned from the debate last night.
Okay, so here's my question for the group. Would this game be more okay? Would you think it looked more fun if they were doing it with magic wands?
This is how much Grace loves. Grace loves games so much that she
I love games.
This.
I do love games.
I think our kids are seeing. Our kids are more exposed to guns and violence than they are to sex.
Okay, so I hear you on that.
So you want them to be dildos, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying, hey, at least you get pleasure. At least you get pleasure out of a dildo.
But no, Sam, what's going to happen is
it's just not a good example to constantly be pointing guns at people.
Do you have nieces and nephews? Do you have nieces and nephews, Grace?
No, I just had to think. I was like, does my brother? I was like, he definitely does not have a kid.
So I have a baby nephew who I love and adore, and it would totally mortify me if I was to come home and see him, Uncle, I found this new game with guns, it's taser. Like, I would lose my shit. So, absolutely not.
But I still think we could adapt the game.
Fine, wands are great.
I love with wands.
Whatever.
And you lower the zapping, and everyone can have their own personal wand.
I grew up playing with guns. I like guns.
I like guns too. I think we have have guns in our house because if the zombie apocalypse happens, we're ready.
Yeah.
But I think that what's going to happen with this is you're going to get taser guns. It's going to become violent. People are going to be injured. We always escalate things to the next step. Oh, that shock wasn't enough. Let me shock the shit out of you now.
I love how nuanced this is becoming now, this conversation, because I think people assume that because you're opposed to this game that you're opposed to guns, period. I also grew up with guns. I know how to shoot a gun. My dad's a Marine. It doesn't mean that because we don't like the idea of this game, we don't like the idea of seeing guns everywhere and how prevalent it is in our culture, it doesn't mean that we're against guns and we support the Second Amendment if it's a responsible person with plenty of regulation and plenty of reform.
This is interesting. Both of you grew up around guns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hasan and I did not, because in Europe
No,
you
I
can't
thought
get...
you did, you said.
No, I played with BB guns.
Yeah, but
and
guns,
shotguns.
firearms in Europe, it's like it's really difficult to come by them. So it seems like for you
My
guys,
dad
this might be a
taught
little
me-
bit more real than for Hasan. I've never held a gun before. I don't think I've ever even seen a real gun up
I've
close.
shot automatic
So I
weapons
am
in Nevada.
probably-
It's awesome.
It's weird. Like
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like a second penis.
It's a weird feeling. I don't like it now as an adult. When I was taught how to use a gun when I was like 17 or 16 by my dad, just in case if a burglar came in and I somehow was able to get the gun from him, or God forbid if I ever made that decision as an adult to get a gun, my dad wanted to make sure I knew how to use a gun. And I'm actually I'm very glad that he taught me how to use a gun responsibly. However, as an adult, because recently I had a friend that his bachelor party was at a gun range and I went, and it's to each its own. For me as an adult now, I just feel the power in the gun. Like you said, you feel the power, and it's scary for me. Do I know how to use a gun? Yes, but it's scary. It's a scary, scary responsibility. I don't know.
By the way, I don't think about like some people make the argument that violent video games also perpetuate violence as well, and some children don't know how to handle it, and then they become school shooters. That was a narrative that people use with the Columbine shooting, for example. I don't agree. I think psychological disorders 100%
Something's
affect
going to influence
people
them.
in a different way. But same thing with this. I understand Jason's point of view from because this is a very real-looking gun, and you should never point a gun at your head, regardless. And I think that with proper education, with when all gun owners are to a degree responsible, and they educate their children and they educate themselves, they learn as much as they can about how to use a gun and what never to do, and putting it to your head, even if it's not loaded, even if it's as a joke, is not cool. Then you can make that disconnect between what a real gun it looks like and then this game.
I agree with you.
But then again, I'm a normal, psychologically well individual, so I can't speak for someone with a mental disorder.
Right.
I just want to celebrate the creativity behind the game, but I agree with both of you, and I'm actually really glad I got to hear your perspective that it is probably too scary and too real with an actual gun, but the concept of the game is, if you were to water it down, maybe with water pistols or
I
something.
can't tell you how much Grace loves games.
I love games,
Grace loves
and I want
games.
to root. Whenever someone thinks of a really cool new game, I want to root for them. But I think
I like
we should
the
make
wand
amendments.
idea. I'm all about the wand idea.
Or a
And they could
dildo.
zap out water, like colored water. I could start a
You
magazine.
could start a game.
Yeah, I could
like
start
it.
a magazine?
A magazine of game ideas.
For board games?
Yeah, Baldridge on boards. On board with Baldridge.
Wow.
Coin.
All right.
All right.
Gonna go do that now.
Yeah. So, all right. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Pop Truth.